Hi, this is Lorraine, and I'm doing another video. If you'll give me a second to clear, center, and balance my energy, we'll get started. Okay. I feel like we'll just get started. 4/2, April 2nd, 2023. Much is revealed in the videos. If you know or research the symbolism within the dreams, visions, and other information being conveyed, there's a lot of information you can receive from that. So when you watch the video, all the dreams and visions and experiences I'm sharing with you are from my perspective. But often when people are drawn to things, there's a message for them. So a river in my dream might give you goosebumps, and you might have a vision, you might have hear something, feel something, all of a sudden know something, and that will be a message for you. So we can trigger messages, we can trigger synchronicities, we can trigger information coming in, each of us, for one another, are catalysts of information, and then also catalysts of change that just came in. So I would encourage people, anybody who's watching the videos, to seek and look for the symbolism in a lot of the stuff I go over, because then you can seek and find information that might be for you or that resonates with you. It doesn't have to be my exact words or something, or my interpretation of that thing, right? And I'm just going to go back to the river because that I talked about that in the last video. But there may be a message for you. Rivers symbolize emotions. The direction of the river could say something to you. Definitely the condition of the river, meaning, is it moving fast? Is it tumultuous? Is it moving slow? Is it calm? Is it polluted, right? Is it low? Is the water low? Is the water high? Is it dry? You know, all these things are messages. And so if that symbol or that item resonated, I would encourage you to research that. But not just that, anything. So ultimately what this says is there are many messages being conveyed on many levels for anybody watching the video. It's not just the specific things I'm talking about and the specific meanings that I'm providing regarding what my visions, my dreams, and my experiences mean for me as I'm sharing them. And I'll also add that almost everything I talk about in my videos, I get, so as soon as I shut off the camera or shut off my computer, there's always more information. It's very layered. And I used to get information, and I've talked about this in the past, like when I first started having my spiritual awakening, or the beginning of my spiritual awakening, I would have visions over the course of a year or years, and then I would have to put them together, and I would read through my journal and start putting together all these visions or experiences or synchronicities in isolation and create a bigger message, or find a bigger message in those visions and experiences I had over the course of 6 months, a year, 2 years, okay? But now, again, when I shut off the video or shut off the camera and I start editing, or I go and start getting ready for dinner, or whatever I'm doing in that moment, I'll start getting messages right then about to add on, or layers of more information on on many levels. And so it's much more instantaneous, but that's about my growth. Okay, so I just want to encourage you to try to seek and find more information that resonates for you and that's meaningful for you, and because I feel like this is part of our journey. I inspire you, you inspire me, and I'm sure that later in this journal this week I talk about that more. Okay, so next, intrinsic value. One of my primary duties as a special educator working with kids with moderate to severe disabilities was teaching them the intrinsic value of doing things. You can't walk around with a pocket full of M&Ms giving treats to a grown man or woman to get them to get on the bus or transition out of a movie theater. So when I was working with kids, my kids were kindergarten to 5th grade. I worked with young elementary school children. And one of my jobs was educating them academically, but also behaviorally. We worked on behavior modification. And a lot of my kids, generally speaking, with Down syndrome would have issues transitioning from like the playground back to the classroom, because who wants to leave the playground, right? Nobody wants to leave the playground. And so but when the bell rings, the kids come in, and I had students who just wanted to keep playing, so we had to work on transitioning them from the playground back to the classroom. And this this can be generalized across many different situations. When kids are little, going to pizza, not wanting to come home, going to a video game arcade, not wanting to leave to go home, going to your cousin's house to visit, not wanting to leave, right? And you're playing and you're having fun. But also as an adult, there are certain things that we need to do to transition, right? Getting on the bus could be really exciting for some of the kids I work for, and they want to keep riding. You know, there's people getting on, people getting off, there's all kinds of sights they're seeing as they look out the windows. But, you know, when we get to the stop, we have to get off the bus. And so one of the things I had to teach my kids is the intrinsic value of coming in after recess or getting on the bus, right? Because you can't give them an M&M, you can't give them treats, candy, toys, right? When they become adults, when they're 30, 40, 50 years old, they need to understand that there's value in getting in the bus, getting off the bus. There's value in picking up after yourself. There's value in going home after visiting your cousins, right? So one of my jobs was to teach them the intrinsic value of doing these things. There is value in doing something just for that thing, okay? This is where humanity is at. We need to we need to learn or relearn that there is value in doing something just for doing that thing. Cleaning, cooking, exercise, homework, gardening, drawing, reading, right? There's value in these things. People want a reward for most things that they do. A paycheck, a like, a subscribe, a follow, a car, a house, 2 for 1, you know, a sale, immediate text response. So when I text someone, a lot of times people want an immediate response. Actually, not really, because I don't do that, and I don't want people to get in the habit of me getting back to them immediately, because then it becomes a burden. It becomes a lot of work to keep getting back to everybody immediately, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the day that I need to take care of. But I know people who get very upset if they don't get an immediate response. Notifications, designer clothes, bags, shoes, right? People feel like they need a notification to be reminded for doctor's appointments or dentist appointments, or whatever appointments they have. When I was younger, that didn't happen. They gave you a date and a time, and it was your responsibility to be there. And now people expect a notification if, to remind them. So youth, perfect lips, breasts, perfect physique, good grades, status, participation trophy, attention. The selfie generation, everybody wants so much attention now, They want a response to those, like, selfies that they take, with likes, subscribe, follow. If you're not validating people constantly, there's a problem. An emotional one, value, right? People don't feel valued if they're not being rewarded with a thumbs up or a like or a heart, telling them how young they look, how pretty they look, how good their body is, right? They want to be validated, and you don't even necessarily have to say that. And say you look pretty, your hair looks great, you have a great body. It's just implied with a like, right? So if somebody puts a picture up where they're dressed where they show off their physique, or their scantily clad clothing, or however you want to put it, when they post it, the intention or the expectation is that you're going to respond with a like, a thumbs up, or even a comment, right? And so they need that validation. That's kind of where we are right now. And that's just one example. There's many other examples, but I can't. So anyway, the operative question today is, what is in it for me? We've lost sight of the greater good. To live in a world without currency is to live in a world that understands the intrinsic value of the greater good. Yeah, I don't think I can put that any other way. Last week I talked about parenting, enjoying taking care of my daughter while she healed from surgery. I also talked about, or asked, who convinced women that there was power in a paycheck. That true power, if you will, comes through the influence we have over the children we bring into this world in the most beautiful way. I wanted to add that in order to be successful in such a deception, a manipulation, you have to lay a strong foundation. So to be able to, in a subliminal way, or in a to convince women that their power or value wasn't in raising their children that they birthed into the world, that their value was in a job, was in wearing a power suit and being a boss. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. In order to do that, you have to lay a strong foundation to build from. You would have to make women feel vulnerable and convince them to empower themselves. So how would you do that, right? You destabilize the home and create divorce, and have a high divorce rate, right? At home moms become single mothers who couldn't support their children, or this was another bill of sale. So you're single, you're a mom, and you can't support your children. So the best thing you can do is get a job to support your kids, right? This is just a framework. There are many nuances, but to manipulate and deceive on such a scale, one needs a framework, flexibility, and adaptability. This kept coming in really strong, and so I felt I needed to write it down. And I don't like to get into this type of stuff, but if it was so strong and it kept coming in, like sometimes, like I said, it comes in so much, so hard, it just like hitting me over the head. I need to talk about it. And it's just about awareness. It's not like we can go back and do anything about it. It's the past, right? But part of this process of change and evolution, transcendence, is about awareness and revelation. We're moving through revelation, a revealing of truth. So we have to be aware that these things happen and accept it in order to release the past drive forward and from a different place. We have to be able to release it. We have to be aware of it and be able to release it. Okay, otherwise it'll sit in our subconscious and we'll carry it forward. And we're not meant to do that. We're not meant to carry this generational karma forward into the next cycle. Okay, April 4th. Someone asked me if my hand gesture was the all-seeing eye symbol. So I think on my last video last week, the video thumbnail had like this gesture on it, and I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that meant. They explained it to me, and I responded, really? Is that what you think of when you see such a thing? There are many shapes with many meanings. Should anyone attempt to associate such a gesture with an unbalanced energy, I would clearly state, from a clear, balanced, and centered state, mind, body, and spirit, I claim all energy in my space and beyond, all energy being projected from me, through me, as me, mind, body, and spirit, to be divine, divine light, divine love, all things that bring beauty, love, joy, balance into, onto this world and universe. I'll add and universe. That wasn't in the comment though. I claim this world for the meek, for they have inherited it. I claim it for the divine. I claim it as unity. I am everything, everywhere, and nowhere. I permeate all things, unified always, never apart. I feel it's important for there to be no confusion in my words, actions, or intentions. And so it wasn't just one comment, it was like a back and forth a couple times. And so I felt like my intention was being questioned. And so it was very important for me in that moment to be very clear in my intention, what my path and purpose is. Okay, and symbolism is all about intention. Someone may have a negative intention connected to that symbol, but I don't. And whenever I project energy, it's always from a balanced state. But it always includes love. There's always love in every projection of energy that I share, whether I'm doing it intuitively or unconsciously, or if I'm consciously projecting love and light out. It's always from a balanced plate, and there's always love in there. It's not just I'm projecting balanced energy, right? And so it was really important for me to clarify that. And maybe I'm bringing it up because I do use that symbol a lot in my thumbnails, and it's really important for me to make that clear. Also, and I'll just mention, in a past video, I talked about claiming. A lot of I've watched readers talk about claim it, and claim your love, claim, and it was being misinterpreted, and that wasn't the reader's intention, just so I'm clear. But the people who were a reader's doing a love relationship reading, and some of the comments were, I claim my love back from someone who didn't receive it or accept it. And I'm like, that's not the healthiest thing to do. When we share love with someone, it's because we're projecting our emotions, our intentions towards that person. And if that person's not ready to receive that, then we have to honor that. And we have to allow them to be who they are, and allow them to go through whatever they need to go through until they're in a place in their life where they can receive that love. And so to claim something back like that I felt it wasn't a healthy response to what the reader was actually intending, which was people to love themselves, to come back to center and love yourself unconditionally. Because once you accept and love yourself fully, then you can share that love freely without fear, right? And I think that was more the intention, but that's not how it was taken by some people. But in this, so I'm bringing that up because I do feel like if anybody who watched that video might have seen this as a contradiction. There is a struggle happening right now on this planet, and it's deep. I feel it. It's been very difficult for me energetically. I work. It's almost like the beginning of COVID for me, where I had to work really to keep my energy centered because there was so much fear. There was a lot of fear, and I could feel it wherever I was going. And right now, there's a push and pull of like this negative energy really trying to grab on and hold on to this world. That can't happen because Mother Earth's vibration is rising. So all things that don't resonate or don't match Mother Earth's vibration can't stay here. There's so much more to it, but there's a negative energy that's trying to hold on and claim Mother Earth. And so it was very important, I think, to verbalize that we beings of love and light, working from balance, projecting the love and energy of the divine source, claim this world for divinity, for balance, for transcendence, for Mother Earth, for us, right? It was very important to make that clear. It's almost like setting a very clear boundary. Yes, we see you're there. Yes, we understand that you would like to hold on to this world, but that's not what's meant to be. And there are some of us here to execute that. All of us here who are transcending are here to execute that, to claim Mother Earth and help her heal. Okay? And so I feel like that was the best word to use in this circumstance if I'm going to verbalize it. If I'm energetically, though, I'm not verbalizing anything because that's not how I'm projecting energy, and I'm working with the fields of Mother Earth. And so it's always hand symbols. When I'm in my mind, I'm not walking around doing hand symbols. Sometimes I do, actually, but always in my mind, I'm creating symbols and movements and formations with my body as I am working with Mother Earth and their energy. Okay, so as I was thinking about it, I saw myself, as I was thinking about this response I had made about I claim all energy in my space and beyond, all energy being projected from me, through me, as me, mind, body, and spirit to be divine, divine love, divine light, divine love, all things that bring beauty, love, joy, balance onto this world and universe. I claim this world for the meek, for they have inherited it. I claim it for the divine. I claim it as unity. And so when I was thinking about, after I wrote that, as I was thinking about it, I saw myself standing in space with Mother Earth in front of me, a little bit below my chest. And so even though I verbalized that in that comment, actually I had this vision, and I didn't want to go into this because I knew I'd written it down, but I didn't realize it was right in my journal right now. But I saw myself standing, I was in space, I guess, and Mother Earth was right here in front of me, and in a position almost as, when I was pregnant with my kids, just below my chest, so kind of in this area. And my hands were above her, and it looked like I was trying to get some sticky stuff like silly string or something off my hands. And then I looked closer, and I looked down, and I don't think I wrote this down, but it looked almost like, I saw marionette puppets, and it looked almost like those little puppet stages that, little boxes, when little kids create their own puppet shows. That's what it reminded me of. It looked like a little stage that was created by little kids, and I saw marionette puppets hanging there. Then I looked closer, and there were, the strings looked like tied and knotted up, and my hand movements, there were no controllers. So there's like these controllers they use to control the marionettes normally, and the strings looked knotted and all messed up, and it was as if I was breaking the strings and the strings got stuck in my hands. Then they started to look like spider webs as I was trying to remove the strings. The strings became webs that I was weaving. It went from the chaos of the knotted string to the beautiful intricate weave of the spider web creation. So I just was trying to get it off my fingers. I saw the marionettes in there and I was like, what's happening? And then as I was like trying to get that off my fingers and I'm trying to figure out, why am I seeing puppets? What is this? Then then it just started to look, I started to weave like a spider web, like a web. So, and the web represents creation. And then I started thinking about the puppets. Why would I see puppets? Well, humanity has been very much manipulated, and we are like puppets. We were like puppets. We're being influenced by the media and through indoctrination on many levels. There's many tools of manipulation being used right now. And so we're really literally being led around. Told what to believe, how to believe it, and for how long. These beliefs change based on the needs of those people who are influencing the consciousness of humanity through manipulation, through the media, right? A lot of media, social media now, TV, movies, schools, right? So, that's what the puppet represented. The strings are now broken, okay? And we're creating new. We're at a place of creating new. That's what the symbolism, that's what that meant to me, that we are creating new. But it was very interesting that the earth was round, and then I was looking in the top of the earth, the earth was hollow. And so the stage was inside of the earth. And then on the edges of the earth, water was flowing in. There's water flowing into the top. Though the stage wasn't wet or anything like that, it was almost like two visions being superimposed over one another. So, or two scenes being superimposed over one another, because we had the earth and then the water flowing in, but then through the top of the earth, as I was messing with my hands, I could see the marionettes in the earth as if on a stage. Okay, does that make sense? Sorry, that got a little choppy, but I hope you understand what I was trying to say. 4-6. Divine feminine voice speaking to me to reassure me, and the voice was mine. My divine self. We are all divine. Speak and guide ourselves from an omniscious, all-knowing place. As we acknowledge and connect with this part of ourselves, the voice communicating becomes clearer, provides more information and access to greater gifts. As we unify with this part of ourselves, release the construct of separation, we transition, transmute, transcend. And one of the things that we are doing in this phase of transcendence and transition is really seeing and understanding and accepting the divinity within us, that we are divine. Each of us, all of us, not just me, all of us, okay? And I, sometimes when I write stuff or comment on stuff, I've had people say, and normally they're not people I know. Normally I comment on something that has like 1 million likes or something, but it's beautiful, something beautiful. Like children are beautiful creatures, beautiful beings on this world. They are our stars. They are our inspiration. They drive us, and they're beautiful. And sometimes I comment about the beauty, and I've had people, and I can't remember any specific some comments I've made, but I've had people say, "Do you think you're God?" And maybe because I talk about divine love and unconditional love a lot, and my response is like, we all carry God within us. We all carry the divine within us, and people are very resistant to that idea or that truth. And so we are at a place where we have to open up and understand this part of ourselves, that we are divine at the root, at our creation, from our creation on this plane of existence, this universe. We are divine. We carry that divine light within us. Okay, that divine light within us is divine. Okay, it is a fractal. It is a piece of God. We are a piece in totality divine. Okay, even if it's just we're just considered an aspect, one aspect of this divine source. We're all in our whole state. When we are existing in unity, we are divine. Right now, our experiences are a perspective from the divine. It is a aspect of the divine. Okay, each of us represent an aspect of the divine, and that aspect is divine. Okay, and then eventually, as this universe unifies from duality back to unity, we all become one, and we are unified in this in our existence. But just because we're living from this fractured place, from these fractals, fragments, doesn't mean we're any less divine. That's the most important thing. It just means we're having experiences to elevate our consciousness and our awareness of ourselves, and which allows the divine to see itself from a different perspective, to understand itself from a different perspective. Okay? Bringing the other half of me. So I just put notes down. Bringing the other half of me, the parts are coming together. The fractured, fragmented parts of myself are coming together and unifying. And that is what this process is. But all of us who are transcending, all of our parts are coming together. Not just mine, but I'm getting that message for myself. And in order for me to come together, I'm coming together with other aspects of the divine. And we're unifying in our consciousness. And so I got a lot of really strong messages about that. I don't think it's appropriate for me to go into, because I'll be talking for an hour if I start going into that. And not everybody's ready for that, too. That was another message that came in. This is very complex information for this time right now where we're at. Okay? And that's not to... it's not intent. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to say that I know more or try to withhold information, but it was it got difficult for me to say. And I didn't write it down because it was so complex. And so I'm like, if I'm having issues trying to figure out how to organize the information to say it, then it's going to be difficult for people to understand. So I need more information to come in to help give me a stronger foundation. Okay, almost like the perspectives I was talking about in the last video. I was talking about perspectives play a part in constructive and deconstructive interference. It's not just about positive and negative. And it was just when that information started coming in, it was overwhelming also. So I have to wait to get a stronger foundation before I talk about it. 4/7, April 7th. These are not timelines. We exist as a vibration within the construct of this universe. So we're not, people talk a lot about timelines, and which don't exist. Those are just thoughts of the divine, possible realities. Just like I gave the example, if I was going on thinking about a vacation, I would start thinking, well, am I going to go to Hawaii? Am I going to go to Puerto Rico? Am I going to go to, do I want to go to Europe? Where do I want to go, right? And I'm going to start thinking about what I want to do and how I want to do it. And am I going to fly? Am I going to do a cruise? What am I going to do, right? And all those thoughts are possible realities, right? But I'm thinking about, I'm just considering, and those could be constitute timelines. The divine thinks about possible realities, what it might want to experience or create, and when it does that, it's creating what people have come to call timelines, but they're just possible realities. Okay, those, but they don't truly exist until they coalesce, right? In this moment right now, for me, this is coalescing for me, right? And so we solely exist as vibrations, right? And a higher vibration has a light, let's say just a lighter energy, and it can exist as, because we're still in this construct of this universe, I think on this world, I think I'll just say like a feather is a very high vibration because it's very light, okay? And a table, an oak table, which is heavy and dense, would be a slower vibration, right? And all these vibrations, high and low, right, create the reality that we live in. And we are no different. We are vibrations, okay? And we exist on this plane. We exist on this plane as physical manifestations, but we are a vibration that is creating this physical manifestation, okay? And so everything is a vibration. All things are a vibration. Okay, there is really no time. That's why everything is a construct, right? There really are no timelines. Things don't exist the way we think they do. But if we start to understand that we are a vibration, we draw things to us based on that vibration. We're drawing similar vibrations towards us. It's almost like magnetism. We're drawn to each other like magnetism. Like magnets are drawn to one another, okay? Then I saw, okay, so I was watching a video somebody posted, and I normally don't watch a lot of stuff. I just don't have time to. And it was a video, they were talking about vegetarian. We need to be vegetarian. Meat, we shouldn't be eating meat. We have enough vegetables on the planet. Trees love to give fruit, right? But we don't kill the tree to take the fruit. But we have to kill the animal, right? And so I was like, so this is what came to me. It was very unsettling to listen to a disembodied voice have pictures go across the screen and then kind of tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. I shouldn't be eating meat. I should be eating vegetables, and this is why. It just didn't resonate with me at all. And then what came to me was, we need to look within to find the things that we need. What should we do? What shouldn't we do? What resonates with us, what doesn't resonate with us. That our connection with the divine tells us what we're supposed to do. We should not be telling each other, you shouldn't do that. That's what's brought us to this place that we're in right now. Other people telling us what we should do, what we should eat, what's good for us, what's not good for us, what has value, what doesn't have value, right? They're telling us this, and we're like buying it or not buying it, right? We pick and choose the paradigms that resonate with us, you know, based on what we're told. What we are being asked to do is look within, connect to our heart, connect to the higher self, and connect to the divine, and ask for guidance. And that divine energy will tell us what we're supposed to do and when we're supposed to do it. Okay? I'm not for or against any type of eating. Whatever people want to do is what they need to do. And we are all transitioning to a different place. I always talk about how the Native Americans used to hunt. They used every part of the animal to honor their mother for providing the food. They did a lot of ceremonies to before the hunt to express gratitude for what might be coming, for protection for their people, and then they honor the animal by using every part of it. So when someone says we don't do that now, but I do feel like there is a way to appropriately continue to eat meat right now as we go through this. I do feel like eventually we won't be eating meat, but it's a process. And I have a really big issue with people saying what you should and you shouldn't do, because we've had too many people, too many circumstances, too many organizations leading us and telling us what we should and shouldn't do. This is a time for us to look within and seek divine guidance for the biggest and the smallest things, because we need to find our true north. We need to find the thing that drives us forward, and we need to look within to do that. And we need our connection to the divine to do that. From a place of clear, centered, and balanced energy, mind, body, and spirit. So the divine energy inspires from higher realms. It is projected from within. So that's the other thing that came to me when I was watching that video. And I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched part of it. But the divine does not come on the screen and inspire us. The divine comes into us from higher realms. As we connect through our heart to the higher self and to the source of all creation. We create that connection, and it comes to us from within. It comes to us from within. It's not coming from outside of us. It's not coming from a screen in front of us. Okay? And that's my ultimate message in every single one of my videos. Is I don't know if I said it in every single one of my videos, but my intention is for people to understand that we need to connect to the higher self and to the divine from a clear, centered, and balanced place through our hearts, and receive divine guidance to help us with whatever we're going through right now, and also to find our center. Okay? There's someone I've heard on a video platform, video channel platform, and she has like this amazing voice. And when she talks, it's very soothing. And I'm like, I think I commented on her page. I said, that voice isn't moving through you. That voice is you. Like, that is her sharing her divine connection, her divine self with us. Absolutely sending messages of love. That's her divine self connecting to my divine self and inspiring me. And that's an example, I would say, of how when you of healthy connections. She's not telling me what to do or how to do it. She's reminding me. Her words were reminding me of my true divine self. She wasn't saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. She was just reminding me through this like very calm, gentle voice that who I was. And inspiring me. Okay, that's so important. We do not channel angels, guides. We channel the higher self, the divine part of ourselves. But these are constructs that have been created in our world. Angels, guides, you know, all beings across the universe that communicate with us energetically. They're all parts of the divine. They're all parts of ourselves. And so angels and guides, I had to go through the process of releasing the constructs of angels and guides, but I did have very strong connections with angels and guides. I had visions and manifestations in my room of guides and angels, like physically manifesting. And so they did present themselves to me because they wanted me to understand what this construct was and what that construct was meant to do, or to how it was meant to help me. But as I grew spiritually, I started to realize that those constructs really don't exist the way I thought they did. So this is all part of transcendence, transition, change. And so I see it from a different perspective. It's not that that energy doesn't exist. It still exists. It's just I don't see it the same way. I'm no longer interested in information being provided through this plane of existence. Social media, politics. I'm not interested in people's research. I am interested in what you receive through divine guidance, the higher self. That is your most accurate source of information. What I do and say in my videos comes to me through the higher self, and therefore the divine. I have experiences on this plane. I am exposed to experiences, information, people that trigger the flow of divine wisdom, but I do not share the opinions or knowledge of others as my own. All information shared is a product of divine inspiration, divine wisdom. Everything else is a potential distraction from my connection with the divine source, creator of all things. And so that's just a reiteration of what I just said. This person that I listen to every now and then that has that really calm voice, she is sharing a part of her divine self with me, and that resonates with me. It's not, and there are many others, so I'm not saying I don't listen to people. There are many other people who have connected to their heart and to the higher self and to the divine, and received a lot of information that inspires them in their light working. And so I am intuitively drawn to those people through my vibration. I'll go back to that discussion I had a little bit ago about my vibration. People with that similar vibrations are drawn to one another. So I'm not saying I don't ever watch anything, but what I am saying is I'm drawn to people who are speaking from their own personal divine inspiration, their own personal acknowledgement of their higher self and their true divine self, and the messages that come to them and inspire them, and that they share with us, okay, that we share with each other. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of garbage out there, and so this is a lesson in discernment. Like, discernment is so important about who you're letting into your space and who you're allowing to inspire you. Okay, because there's a lot of manipulation on this planet. There's nothing about inspiration in a lot of the information that's coming in today. It's about manipulation. And so discernment is so important in finding those people who are inspirational and that have value, and you should listen to, or I should listen to. Okay, so I'll speak for myself. If I am presented with information, I sit with it, feel what comes to me, then move forward from there. So I feel it, I listen, and I connect with the clairs when information comes in. I'm connecting with my claircognizance, clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all the clairs. Whatever comes in to help me discern, I utilize. Okay. It is paramount to do this from a clear, centered, and balanced place, mind, body, and spirit. 4-8. The card acceptance was used in a reading I was watching. So I was watching a reading, and there was a card with acceptance on it, and there was a woman standing in front of a mirror, and it looked like she had her hand up, and then someone had their hand up towards her. I think I took a screenshot of it so I could show you the picture. This made me think of an experience I had when I was in Croatia on the island of Milna. This was in 2017, and we had a full solar eclipse, in August, and I was in Poland on that day. But anyway, I was in my room and I felt like I needed to walk up to the mirror on the wall. I walked up to it and put my hand on it. I stepped back and took some photos of the mirror because I felt like I needed to take photos for some reason. And there was a handprint on the mirror where I touched it. And but it looked like you could see like almost like fingerprints for the tips of the fingers, and then a dove-like image across the top of the mirror, with a light. So there was like a crescent light that went over the top of the mirror, not over the top of the mirror, across the mirror itself, but on the top. And then there was like a dove within that light. Crescent light. And the handprint had extended fingers, so I knew it wasn't a human hand. I learned about the Anshar in about 2018 or 19 when I was watching Cosmic Disclosure, and I've learned much more about them intuitively since. The message this card sent to me was their acceptance of divine flow of energy. So the card said acceptance on it, right? And as soon as I saw that, I saw a woman come in. I can't remember her name, but it was, and she conveyed the message that they have accepted the flow of energy. They have been trying to manifest a future reality where they exist. And so I just talked about how the divine's thoughts create possible realities, and we call them timelines, right? But these are just possible future realities, right? Or future outcomes. The Anshar, came back in time from a future possible reality to manipulate our now moments to assure their future existence. The will of the divine will be executed, and they have accepted the flow of energy executing this will. So basically, that was a very clear message that they're now at a place where they have accepted that whatever happens through our transcendence, they will allow it to happen. They won't keep interfering, and they will allow it to happen, and they will accept what that means for them. And that was always the case, but the resistance against the flow of energy was doing damage to their karma, their energetic karma, and it was doing damage to the flow of energy on the planet. It was creating slows, not stoppages, but slowing the transcendence, because these people are these energies are projecting or exacting their will, trying to stop what is meant to happen. And so that was a very nice message. And so I sent, love and light, and I shared a lot of pride in their decision and gratitude and loving energy. Just, I was so proud of them. I was like, it's a hard thing, but it's not like they'll exist maybe in a different way, in a better way even. And you have to accept that possibility. Things can be better. This is all you know, so you're trying to hold on to it. But things can be 100 times better if you just allow yourself to open up to the flow of energy, to the divine flow of energy, because the divine wants everything to be beautiful for us. The divine wants everything to be Eden for us. But we resist that, and when we resist it, we create the discord. Okay? So, give me just a minute. So I just saw myself crush the earth and then rebuild it, and it was with like some metal. It was so the materials are changing, the foundation is changing, everything is changing, and metal can be considered armor. I think we are going to need to have a very strong energy field on Earth as we go through this change and as we become more empowered, because there's a lot of fear about our gifts. But we will show the universe who we are, that we are truly love. Okay? And I brought up kids in the past, little kids, 2-year-olds, they're so loving, right? And everybody says, they throw temper tantrums. People said some horrible things. I was amazed at the horrible things people said about toddlers. But they're children, and they don't know how to control the emotional body yet. That's our job, to teach children how to control the emotional body. But all the love they share with us, that unconditional love, my son, oh my God, I couldn't get enough hugs from him when he was little. And that is who we are, that loving, hugging person, people. And we'll show that to the universe. Just like here, on this world, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation being put out to create fear. But we will overcome that, because we will show them who we are, those of us who are transcending. Okay? It's nothing to fear. All right. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.